I want you to tell me, how do you maintain your consistency? Because I think one of the things that's it.
Yeah, I work.
No, but Linda, you have.
What else? What else?
There has to be something else.
Okay.
Because I have and I've made a science of it actually. Because the one thing that you go and you decide which programs you want to see, but the one thing that you always see Rev, and I've seen you so many times in Rev, and I'm like, that's amazing. Like year after year, it's all, and you are incredibly consistent.
You have to. I'm not.
Is that a rehearsal thing? Is that a body? What is it?
It's just me. How I prepare myself.
And can you talk about that a little bit?
It has to do a lot with, sometimes you just see the performance, but you don't know what goes on during the day. I could have had 3 texts, 2 rehearsals after that, plus the morning class that I do with Madam, which is almost 2 hours.
Right.
And then I go straight to the theater, walk to the theater, have my lunch. Like I have a long day. I have to pace myself. So sometimes it means just be clear in rehearsal and not like give the emotion part of it. And I save that for the evening. Right. I try to really be minimal with people, like not be all wasting my energy on talking with you. So I'm in a zone throughout the day. I have to conserve the energy because the evening performance is when everything has to come up. The eyes, the focus. And each year I always tell myself, what are you going to give this year? Because these people watch you all the time. Right. They're going to get bored because I would get bored if I came every year and saw the same person looking the same every year. Right. I don't want to see that. The consistency of dancing, yes, but what else are you giving me?
The growth.
So this year, every year I try to, what else can I push myself to do? What can I do better that I didn't do so good last year? And each thing is just, it's really being more vulnerable too. What else can you do? I'd rather almost fall, but give it my all, which I don't like to fall. Also, you know that too. No. That's when the technique got to kick in. But what else can I do besides just technique? Right. Because it can be so boring.
And that's where I have to say, I think that's where I've watched
storytelling.
The growth. There is a softness, because sometimes because you're so consistent, it can be kind of cool. Yeah. But I see you are warming. Yeah. I can see that there's something else.
It should be alive. It should feel, and then it's a story too. I have to give myself a story before I start. Right. And it's just like, it's got to be different. How realistic can I make this? Put yourself in those shoes. And this year we did Journey 2, which was like really one of the harder things I've ever done. It's so technically simple, but because of the lighting being so dark and over top of you, you really don't, you see nothing but darkness. It's really almost scary. And then you have this little violin playing next to you, and it's the softest music, and it's like so
it creates a world for you almost.
And it's just like, what is my journey here at Ailey? What has been my journey?
Real artistic.
Yeah,
now that you've reached that level of mastery technically, now it gives you the freedom to go into the artist.
But that's why the both, to me, are really just as important, because some people just care about the technique, but then it's like there's nothing else.
What else?
Nothing, no depth, no weight in anything. But to me, both are just important. See, the morning is for the technique. The morning is to how I use my port de bras, using my head, make sure right. All of that. Learn it. It's in there, in the muscle, the foundation. And then be yourself.
And the freedom.
Freedom.
That's what your teachers are trying to tell you, and they're like, you have to. If you have the technique will save your life. You have the foundation, then you have it gives you the freedom. Okay, now quickly, Shay was telling me she equated your regimen to being like an Olympic athlete.
Oh, thank you.
Because she's our resident PT person, and I was like, how does she do it? She's like, she has a regimen, and she is on it. You and your husband, Glenn Sims. I like to give him a Spanish accent too, Glenn Sims. And she's cooking, she's rolling out her body. Can you tell us a little bit about what your body maintenance day or regimen is?
Well, I love swimming. I love doing aqua aerobics, and I bring my little gloves and my little board with me. swimming also is really good for your joints.
Right.
So sometimes when the work is a little like,
Too
I'm
much,
getting
yeah.
a little kind of crampy, I gotta swim. I gotta shake the legs out. The
Right.
legs gotta flow.
Mm.
So I do a lot of swimming. If my shoulders are being a little cranky because they're rolling too much forward, maybe
That's
from
what
the
you
bad
do.
beds on the road, I go right in the pool and I do this. When there
Okay.
is no pool, I do lots of bath. I massage every night. I'm rolling out every part of my body. I don't like any part of my body to feel taut.
Right.
At any given moment, my body's got to feel free, not loose, because there's got to be some strength.
But that's right, because you create
it's
balance in the
constant maintenance.
body.
But it's you. I still don't even feel I work half as hard. Some of these people that I go do guest artisting sometimes,
Right.
and they're in the theater from like 9 in the morning, and they're sewing their point shoes. They're like their life is dance. See, I like to also have a life, and that's when the cooking comes in because I kind of
Right. So how do you balance that?
I
Because
just do it. You just got to
so
do
you
it.
get up
I
in the
love to
morning.
do it.
When do you swim?
So I get up in the morning. I make breakfast for me and my husband or whatever. And by the way, on Sundays, on the weekends, when I cook meals, so I do 2 big dishes so that when I come
You
home,
have stuff for
I
the
just put it in
evening.
a Tupperware, put it in a Tupperware.
Right.
So I cook on the weekends, and cooking is my
Meditation. That's okay.
release, meditation. Think about only myself and the food and how I'm gonna
Right.
feed my husband. Oh, how delicious is this gonna be? I love that. It just takes my mind off of dance. And then that's the weekend. Morning, go take class.
Mhm.
We have our lunch, and so when I come home, I have toys. I have my foam rollers, I have my balls. So after rehearsal, I just lay on the floor, have my little glass of wine, and we had watch TV or anything.
For
we
like what? How,
DVR.
2 hours?
Like
2
2
hours?
hours.
2 hours.
And I'm on the floor rolling out. But see, it feels good to do that. Some people are like, I don't want to roll
See,
out.
you love this. You love the work.
You have to. Well, some people do it for a hobby, the dancing, and I thought that dance was a hobby growing up after high school. Then I got the job. People are like, you're really good at this. I'm like, okay. It was my outlet. It was my way of it was something about dance, how I felt. It was like I was in a whole different world. Outside the studio, your family could be going through hell. You could be in it, but it doesn't matter.
Your space.
Or, school could be, peer pressure, whatever. But when I was in the studio, it was all gone. So I was like, yeah, it's a hobby. But I was like, I really like this.
But you like the work, too.
And then you have to put work. I mean, you got to know, am I going to make this a career? Or am I just going to have fun? I mean, even if it's a career, you have to enjoy what you're doing. And you have to be honest. Do I really love what I'm doing? Because it's not going to be easy. See, people see companies from a distance and they go, oh, that is. I want to be in that company. I want to be in that company. They get into the company. It's not what they think it is.
It never is.
It never is. It will never be because all you see is the pretty face.
I try to explain to people.
Photographs.
I'm like,
it's hard work.
You spend 95%, if not 98% of your time in a studio.
Yeah. And most of the times you got to do it yourself
on the stage. That thing that they're seeing that they fall in love with. It's
work.
Not it.
Yeah.
The work gets you there.
And the thing is that times have changed, and then maybe some people are used to being coached or having that teacher that. Well, you get into a company and you on the road. Nobody's gonna do that for you.
You are your coach.
You are your coach.
Or you have to be interested.
You're gonna put the extra time when you come back to New York to get that teacher that used to do that to you, and you go find it, and that person will coach you. So at this extra work that I do, it's not just that heavy load of long day at work. No. I do the extra because who is it benefiting? It's benefiting me. My teachers when I was growing, because I'm Latin, so I always had that little spice attitude. They'd be like, turn out, and I'm like, ugh, I'm going to a C16 party. Like that was more important to me. But they were always on top of people who do that to you means they care. Right. They see something that you don't see yet.
Right.
But they see something to you. So don't get this teacher's always telling me this. Don't worry about that. That means they like you. They want you to. It's for you to benefit.
You gotta trust that.
And you better remember that stuff because ain't nobody gonna tell you that later.
And there's always a moment where it clicks, like when you're in this situation, and then you hear it's like it slams you in the back of your head. And goes, oh my God, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
In that moment.
And then you got to do it because there'll be a lot expected from you if you come in here. But if you're not ready to fight. Don't try to because you got to fight for
what you want.
For what you want.
And to get that.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. We're going to lose her to a rehearsal now. But I just wanted to say, you are so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I thank you for coming and speaking to me and to the people who watch. And I listen to what she says, because she's, like you said, you went to LaGuardia. You're
I'm a New Yorker,
girl.
so yeah.
You know what I mean?
I could have been everywhere, done anything.
And you're the poster girl. I call you. You're like the first lady of Ailey, right? Like, you're the poster girl. We see you, and you are what those little girls, they're like, oh, I want to be that. Well, you heard what it takes.
Yeah, I'm the only one that's been 4-time on a poster. So
she's the poster girl.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
But it's been hard work. So keep it up.